What's happening, guys? This is RRPG here, and I'm here to present another 2 cents video on the 2 cents block to all. Yeah, you might be surprised I am doing another 2 cents video since it has been about 2 months since the last one that I did talking about Sony's arrogance with backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 4. And to be quite frank, I got burnt out with doing these types of videos since people like Review Tech USA, Rob from Rule of 2 Review, and Super Metal Dave 64 have been doing them non-stop, with almost a portion of their topics retreading ground on stuff they already talked about from before. However, I've made a change with the stuff I'm going to be doing with my content going forward, but I'm going to talk about that in an upcoming video, which will also describe my progress on Episode 8 of my Final Fantasy retrospective, as well as finally addressing me with not doing any more reviews of the 2012 Ninja Turtles cartoon on Nickelodeon, which I never seem to have really done since I stopped doing them. But on the 2 cents videos, they're still going to continue, but they won't be as frequent like what you've seen from me as of this past year, as I was getting burnt out by them. I'll be explaining all that in my upcoming video, but let's not waste any time and get on with today's topic. As of recent, Capcom announced that Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers on the Nintendo Switch, became a massive hit on the system that they are going to continue putting in support for the Nintendo Switch. With that announcement coming from them, my fears could possibly be laid to rest. But that was until I heard that they are planning Nintendo Switch versions of multiple titles in the works from the once great company I fell in love with back when I was growing up. When they said Nintendo Switch versions of multiple titles, something told me it was either some of their current generation games or ones from the last generation that skipped out on the Wii U. Now, 2 days have come, which was back this Tuesday, and my fears are partially true, as Capcom has announced that both Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 are coming to the Nintendo Switch later this year. They unveiled a press release talking about Resident Evil Revelations on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, with their release date coming very soon for both those platforms, while the Nintendo Switch version of that game is coming out later this year, along with a digital download code for Revelations 2, as that game won't have a physical release. If you got the physical version of Revelations 1 with the digital download code for Revelations 2, you would spend $40. However, both the games will be on the Nintendo Switch eShop at $20 a pop. At face value, I don't think it's all that bad with where they are priced at, since they are at a budget price, and with Capcom doing a cash grab on this, which they have done so much since they are losing money like crazy. When this announcement came about, I have both my praises and criticisms toward this decision, but I will talk about them both in this video. On the side of praise, I think it's a good thing that Capcom is finally addressing fears of Nintendo Switch owners, as they are pledging in support, even after they demanded Nintendo to increase performance of their newest platform to handle a game like Resident Evil 7 on there. That way, Nintendo Switch owners can get their taste of both Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 on the same platform if they missed out on the first game on the Wii U, and haven't tried Revelations 2 since it skipped that when it released. However, if these games do well in terms of sales for the Nintendo Switch, maybe this will lead Capcom to take the platform more seriously and bring in some of their other games like Monster Hunter World, Street Fighter V, and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite on there, which I really don't know why anyone would want those last two games since Street Fighter V is crap. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite does not appeal to me because of Marvel, Disney, and Capcom's stance with developing the game, and with the many shills and Capcom still defending the company due to sheer negligence. Perhaps we could get whatever Hideaki Itsuno is currently working on, or possibly even the Resident Evil 2 HD remake that is currently in the works. Possibilities like this for those kind of games can come onto the Switch, but we have to vote for our wallets if we want to see more third-party support like this. If you want to see more Nintendo platforms get third-party support like this, then please do support them so that they don't stray away, because like Nintendo, Capcom is a business, and if they see strong sales of those games on a system, they'll keep doing business with them. Remember from the what was known as the Capcom 5 when most of those games weren't profitable on the GameCube? Yeah, they ended up going multi-platform anyway. Show Capcom that you do care, and not just continue to buy first-party content on the platform, since that is Nintendo's biggest bread and butter aside from their hardware. Now it's time for me to play devil's advocate and address my criticisms toward this decision. Even though it would be a good thing that both games are coming onto the Nintendo Switch, I really do not see the point with Capcom doing this for both games when Revelations 2 should be the only one they put on there, since it skipped out on the Wii U 2 years ago. While I was glad that they tested the waters with the system and saw that an old game like Street Fighter 2 did well on the Switch, but why are they continuing to put old games on there and not what is currently on current generation hardware like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? Why is the first Resident Evil Revelations announced for the Nintendo Switch over something like Resident Evil 7? Why announce that when they could give Nintendo Switch owners something new like a brand new Okami, a brand new Darkstalkers, a brand new Rival Schools, a brand new Dino Crisis, a brand new Mega Man, a brand new Zack and Wiki, or possibly even a brand new Beautiful Joe of all things? Capcom, we get it. You are in deep shit financially. But you gotta remember that the correct games will sell on the correct systems. We have to recall how many units that the first Resident Evil Revelations sold on the Wii U alone. Selling at 210,000 copies, we could tell that that wasn't going to show a great relationship between both companies on the platform, as that alone made Capcom jump ship from the system so that they could be more in favor of the upcoming PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. If you did something more recent like Resident Evil 7, then I can say that is a better bet. But for Revelations 1? I can understand Revelations 2 since it never saw the light of day on a Nintendo platform until now, but for Revelations 1 to be re-released on there too? Another thing that really gets my goat about this is that Capcom is pretty much pulling the same crap like what we saw from them during the Wii U's life cycle. They did not put any new games on the platform, as the only two games we got from them were Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, which was a port of Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii, that also saw a release on the Nintendo 3DS, and Resident Evil Revelations. Capcom is viewing Nintendo platforms as nothing but a place to make cash grabs, because any of their games they re-release on any platform that they don't have to break even on, they could just put them on there and just get nothing but profit. I guess you can see that they still don't care about the install base for the Nintendo Switch, since they aren't taking the platform with brand new games seriously. The last time they did was with Resident Evil Revelations on the Nintendo 3DS, along with Monster Hunter 4 and Monster Hunter Generations. After that, they have not taken Nintendo's home consoles seriously. What really makes the pot call the kettle black is that those ports on newer Nintendo hardware are last-gen ports. Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 are last-gen ports, when they both showed up on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and them unleashing last-gen ports of those games on Nintendo platforms and the current generation hardware has been oversaturated that we are hardly ever seeing anything new because of how utter crap they have become. It still just boggles my mind with how a company who was once so beloved by so many ended up as nothing but a complete joke. Capcom is not Capcom anymore. They are known as Capcom. And if you don't get that reference, I pity you. Overall, you can see my praise and criticisms toward this decision, as Capcom is really not in the head with treating Nintendo fans with the respect that they deserve. When stuff like this has already released on other platforms and with the PC through Steam, Resident Evil Revelations may not do that well on the Switch. I can possibly see its sequel doing better since it never came out on the Wii U, but Capcom needs to stop doing these cash grabs as they need to be more straightforward and give the games that people want. What is the status on the Resident Evil 2 HD remake? Where is the next Dino Crisis game? What's new with Devil May Cry? Why haven't you asked Platinum Games to work on new installments of those games they created for you when under the Clover Studios name, like Okami or even Beautiful Joe? Why is it so hard for you to take something like the Nintendo Switch more seriously, as more developers have been singing praise for the system more so than the Wii U, since the Switch can handle something like the RE engine and Unreal Engine 4? Whatever you have in the pipeline in terms of those other games you have coming onto the Switch, I hope they take us all by surprise and not by disappointment, which I feel the latter is going to do more because of how financially bad that Capcom is at this time. I want to have faith, but I can't if they continue to pull this shit. If they made the announcement of Monster Hunter World finally making it to the Nintendo Switch, this wouldn't be all that bad, but it is what it is. Now, I want to hear your own thoughts on this. Do you think having Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 is a good sign for Capcom taking the Nintendo Switch a bit more seriously? Or are you thinking they played things way too safe with bringing both of these games on there, like what they did with Ultra Street Fighter 2? Make sure to rate this video as well as leaving your feedback down in the comments. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button underneath this video, as more support from you guys will mean that more content is coming from me in the future that you won't find anywhere else. Until next time, this is RRPG signing off by saying Godspeed and game on, gamers. Have a good one.